Welcome to another deep dive. We're here to unpack the really electrifying events from yesterday's Major League Baseball schedule.
Yeah, it was quite a slate.
It really was. I mean, from masterful pitching to just explosive offense, it felt like yesterday offered every single facet of the game.
Absolutely.
And our mission, as always, is to extract the most critical insights, what you need to understand how it all played out.
Digging beyond the box score.
Exactly. Yesterday was a whirlwind. You had dominant pitching performances leaving hitters just bewildered, then these high-scoring slugfests, and some real nail-biting finishes that kept us glued to every pitch.
Teams battling hard. You can feel the divisional races heating up.
Definitely. Adding thrilling chapters to rivalries. So our goal today, like you said, go beyond the scores, get into the how and the why behind the headlines. Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, what's truly fascinating here, especially looking at yesterday, is how clearly it underscored that timeless adage, pitching wins championships.
Still holds true, huh?
It really does. Even now, with offensive numbers soaring everywhere, the undeniable power of strong, disciplined pitching was just on full display.
Right.
It proved that a well-executed game plan from the mound can still silence the loudest bats. Doesn't matter who's holding them.
When we talk about silencing bats, I mean, we have to start with those masterful shutouts yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
The Houston Astros, for instance, they delivered what I'd call a classic Astros performance, shutting out the Angels 2-0.
Textbook Astros.
Totally. Their starter went deep, 7 shutout innings, kept the WHIP under 1.0, and generated a surprising number of swings and misses, especially on his slider, even in 2-strike counts.
That's key.
It wasn't just good pitching. It felt like a specific game plan executed flawlessly, hitting the edges, generating weak contact against an Angels team that loves to swing. It's like a refinement in their strategy, something we've seen them working on.
Precisely. And then you look over in the National League, the Arizona Diamondbacks, they kind of mirrored that dominance, blanking the Dodgers 3-0.
Huge win for them.
Huge. And it wasn't just significant, it was like a strategic masterpiece. The D-backs pitching staff, starter through the relievers, they successfully mitigated the Dodgers' power. How? By leaning heavily on off-speed stuff, location, frustrating hitters into early swings, soft grounders.
So less overpowering, more out-thinking.
Exactly, which you could argue is a far more sustainable long-term strategy.
It's a great distinction. Yeah, it's not always about throwing 100-mile-an-hour. It's the art of pitching.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, these games demonstrate how vital a disciplined pitching staff is. Not just controlling tempo, but dictating the narrative of the game. It's less about raw stuff sometimes, more about command, sequencing, that whole psychological battle. And it wasn't just about one dominant start either. Look at the Tampa Bay Rays.
Right, the doubleheader sweep.
Yeah, continuing their consistent play, sweeping the Nationals, both games 4-1. That just highlights the Rays' trademark combo, stellar pitching, timely hitting.
Holding any MLB offense to just one run back-to-back, that's incredibly difficult.
It really is. Speaks volumes about their pitching depth, starters eating innings, bullpen guys with sub 3.0 ERAs and high leverage. The Nats just couldn't find any rhythm against those sinkers and breaking balls.
And we saw another tight one, too. Phillies over the Braves, 2-1.
Classic low-scoring affair. A real pitching duel from start to finish.
What made it a duel, though?
Well, it felt like both starters were consistently getting ahead in counts, limiting walks, forcing weak contact, not just relying on strikeouts. Every walk, especially extra base hits, they just became magnified, turned the whole game into this strategic chess match.
Those are incredible to watch. But, I wonder, in an era with such powerful offenses, how sustainable is relying that heavily on dominant pitching all season, especially for teams without, say, super deep bullpens?
That is the crucial question, isn't it? And that's where the nuance comes in. A dominant ace, sure, they can carry you for stretches. But the Rays example, it highlights that true sustainability comes from depth. A bullpen that can effectively bridge the gap. Starters who reliably give you 6, maybe 7 innings without a crazy pitch count. That's why teams are investing so heavily in developing all kinds of arms.
Makes sense.
But it's the contrast that's so interesting, right? Pitching clinics in some parks.
And absolute fireworks in others.
Exactly. And understanding why that divergence happened yesterday, that's fascinating.
You're right. Baseball is just a game of magnificent contrasts. While pitching definitely owns some games, other ballparks yesterday, totally different story. Bats absolutely came alive.
Yeah, they did.
Take the Miami Marlins and New York Mets series. I mean, what a roller coaster of emotions that was.
Wild.
The Mets initially dominated, winning 19-9. That wasn't just an offensive explosion, it felt like a masterclass in patient hitting. Game 1, the Mets were so selective, drew like 7 walks, forced pitches into hitters' counts. They just turned that Marlins pitching staff into batting practice. Everyone got in on it. Seemed like it. Every hitter contributing, driving up pitch counts, waiting for their pitch. But then, here's where it gets really interesting. The Marlins bounced back. 11-8 victory in the second game. Completely flipped the script.
Resilience.
Totally. And what was fascinating was the shift in approach. The Marlins adjusted, attacked early in counts against the Mets bullpen that was struggling. It just shows how quickly a team can adapt its offensive philosophy, even mid-series, and how fast momentum can shift in this game.
And we saw more of that offensive dominance elsewhere, too. The New York Yankees, for instance, they absolutely hammered at the White Sox, 10-2.
Odin offense.
And it wasn't just the big bats, though they have those. It was built on patient at-bats, staggering 8 walks, and just capitalizing on fastballs left over the plate, especially middle innings against the Chicago relievers. When that lineup connects with that kind of discipline, incredibly hard to stop. Clear example of their power and ability to control the game's pace from the plate.
And the Cubs?
Over in the NL, yeah, the Cubs took down the Rockies 11-7, higher scoring game. Wrigley Field often sees some offense, right?
Sure.
And this game delivered. Cubs outslugged the Rockies. Not just homers, but stringing together timely doubles, triples, exploiting those big outfield gaps.
Even the Pirates got in on the action.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Significant offensive outbursts in their second game against the Red Sox. Bats erupted for 10 runs. They converted high-leverage situations really efficiently against a Boston bullpen that just couldn't find the strike zone consistently.
That's the sheer thrill of offensive firepower right there.
Yeah.
That constant threat. A lineup just gets hot, changes the whole game, maybe in just one inning.
Yeah.
It's that unpredictability that keeps us on the edge of our seats.
Exactly.
And that unpredictability wasn't just on the scoreboard. It extended to the physical demands, too.
Yeah.
Several teams faced that ultimate test, the doubleheader.
And this raises an important question about endurance and team depth, doesn't it? Particularly when you look at those doubleheaders. These games, they aren't just 2 separate contests. They really highlight the grind of a major league season and the absolute importance of having a deep roster. Guys capable of performing at a high level for, 18-plus innings in one day.
And nobody showed that better yesterday than the Milwaukee Brewers. Yeah. Fantastic day for them, sweeping the doubleheader against Toronto, 7-2 and 4-1.
Big sweep against a good team.
Huge. Game 1 really showcased their offensive depth. Bats were hot, finding gaps, driving the ball with authority, especially like the bottom half of their order, guys who often get overlooked.
Depth scoring.
Exactly. But then, Game 2, Milwaukee's pitching really shone. They rotated through their bullpen masterfully, used a series of setup guys to just stifle that powerful Blue Jays lineup, allowed only 2 hits over the final 5 innings.
Impressive shutdown.
Taking 2 from a strong AL East contender like Toronto, that's a significant statement, not just for confidence, but it suggests the level of resilience that could really define their season.
Absolutely.
And we saw the Rays again reinforcing their ability to sustain performance, sweeping the Nats. They relied heavily on strong defense, opportunistic base running too.
Their brand of baseball.
Yep. And the Pirates also had a strong day, taking 2 from Boston, 4-2 and 10-3. Show they can put up big numbers when that lineup clicks, especially jumping on early game opportunities.
Exactly. These performances really highlight how vital roster depth is for navigating the marathon of a season. It's not just about your starting 9 or your top 2 pitchers, it's the whole 26-man roster.
Everyone contributes.
Right. Teams that can sustain that high-level performance across 2 games in one day. They're truly built for endurance. Managing pitch counts, rotating position players, still finding ways to win. These victories, definitely significant confidence boosters, shows a team prepared for the long haul, ready for the bumps and bruises of a demanding schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. And beyond the dominant wins and offensive fireworks, a lot of games yesterday came down to clutch moments, strategic wins, the art of the nail-biter, you could call it.
Love those games.
Me too. Take the St. Louis Cardinals, securing a 7-5 victory over the Reds. This wasn't just consistent offensive pressure. It was about precision in those high-leverage spots.
Timely hitting.
Key hits with runners in scoring position, yes. But their bullpen's resilience and strategic game management felt even more crucial. Relievers consistently located fastballs up, mixed in curveballs for called strikes, held off those late rallies by preventing the big extra base hit in critical moments.
And that strategic execution, we saw it elsewhere too. The Cleveland Guardians' narrow 5-4 win over Seattle, really tightly contested, showed the competitive nature of both teams. But the Guardians, known for their small ball fundamental approach,
Found a way.
they strung together 3 singles in the 8th, capped it with a perfectly executed hit and run for the go-ahead run. Classic example of their fundamental approach winning out in a tight spot. Opportunistic offense, smart base running, forcing the defense to make plays under pressure.
That's such a great example of a team just playing to its identity, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the Detroit Tigers, they got a 5-3 win against the Royals, hard-fought divisional matchup. The Tigers managed to out-execute the Royals.
Which says something.
It really does. Detroit holding off KC, especially in a close game like that, it indicates tangible improvements, their bullpen's ability to close games maybe, defensive solidity, making the crucial plays when it mattered most.
Okay.
And the Minnesota Twins defeating the Padres 7-4 showed their offense was clicking, demonstrated their ability to score runs, secure wins against quality opposition. They seemed to exploit pitching changes really well, capitalized on those middle inning walks.
But what does this all mean for us, the fans, after a day like yesterday?
Well,
It feels like these games just underscore the sheer unpredictability of baseball, doesn't it? Where every single play is crucial, especially in those one-run games.
every pitch matters.
Yeah. You're reminded that a walk, a defensive error, a timely hit that seems small, it can completely swing the outcome, makes every pitch a potential turning point.
Yeah, as the dust settles on yesterday's packed schedule, you see these key takeaways emerge. It reiterates the full spectrum of baseball's drama, really. We saw that undeniable power of strong pitching, masterful command, but also the thrill of offensive firepower, that constant threat of a hot lineup,
Right.
the double headers. They highlighted the grind, the importance of roster depth for endurance. And these diverse outcomes, they'll undoubtedly influence standings, fuel rivalries, provide endless fodder for discussion as the season unfolds. They shift team narratives in real time.
Indeed. What stands out most to me is just the sheer unpredictability and excitement that only baseball can deliver. From those one-run thrillers where every pitch felt heavy to the commanding wins showcasing a team's strength, yesterday really offered it all.
It did.
Every team, win or lose, walked away with lessons learned, right? Strategies to refine, another chapter added to their story. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into yesterday's incredible MLB action.
And, building on that idea of lessons learned and the pursuit of October glory, consider this. How can a single day's outcomes, with all its varied dramas, dominant pitching, strategic defense, offensive fireworks, critical errors, how can that redefine a team's entire season narrative? For better, or maybe for worse? What specific moment from yesterday do you think will be a turning point for one of these teams, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond just one game?